most of us are familiar with retirement accounts like IRA accounts, 401k plans. Those are all meant to save for for use during our retirement. So like a regular traditional IRA, you contribute to that a little bit every year, or a Roth IRA, you contribute to that a little bit every year. Then you use that during retirement, and so it's pretty straightforward. A 401k plan, I contribute that through my employer. A 403b if I work for a nonprofit organization, and I can roll that over to an IRA once I retire, if that's the right decision for me, and then I can use that to live in retirement. So that's great. But this video is really about, what if I inherit an IRA? So think about, like, from a parent, a sibling, an aunt, uncle, somebody names me as a beneficiary on their IRA. What do I have to do with that money? And so that's what I want to talk a little bit about in this video. Did you know there's about 10,000 people turning 65 every single day in America? And so, that generation is aging, retiring, and before long, there'll be a huge transfer of wealth over the next 20, 30 years. And so a lot of folks will be inheriting IRAs, and it's really important to know what to do with that. So this is a video about that. So number one, if my spouse passed away, her IRA would become my IRA and vice versa. So there's no special rules around that. It's very straightforward rules between spouses when you inherit an IRA. This is really about being a non-spouse and inheriting an IRA. So number one, if I were to inherit an IRA, I would have to set up what's called an inherited IRA. And so it's a special kind of IRA. It's kind of tied to the decedent, who I inherited the IRA from. And so I basically, like back in the day, you could basically liquidate that IRA over your lifetime. You may have heard the term like stretch IRA. You just take a little bit out every year for the rest of your lifetime. So when the Secure Act came out, that was late 2019, that really changed the rules around that. So beginning in 2020, if I inherited an IRA from someone and I'm a non-spousal beneficiary, I don't have that stretch provision anymore. I have to liquidate that IRA over a 10-year time horizon. So I could take a little bit out every year. That might make sense, because that's taxable as ordinary income. By the way, there's no penalty for withdrawing money from an inherited IRA. It's taxable as ordinary income, but there's no penalty. So you could be any age. You could be 40, you could be 50. It doesn't matter. There's no 10% early withdrawal penalty from an inherited IRA. So because of when I inherit that IRA, what if I'm in the peak earnings of my lifetime when I inherit that? And I have to take roughly, a little bit out every year and have it liquidated over a 10-year period. It might make sense to spread out those distributions so it's not just one big tax hit all at once. You just have to have it out by year 10. If I inherited a Roth IRA, well, a Roth IRA is tax-free. So it probably wouldn't make sense just to cash it out. Why would I not just leave it in there and let it ride for 10 years? Because whatever it grows to, that is tax-free. I just have to have it all out of there by year 10. So there are a couple of rules regarding the regular inherited IRAs, not Roths, but regular ones, like a traditional IRA or rollover IRA. And so if I inherit one of those, if the decedent was at least, say 72, 73, they were already taking out those minimum required distributions every year, I have to take out a minimum every year, just to pay tax on that as ordinary income. But I still have to have it all out by year 10. And so, that's the one thing that's a little bit different. A Roth IRA, there is no RMD requirement for the decedent, so there is no minimum that I have to take out. So, I've had some clients that maybe inherit an IRA and they also inherit a Roth IRA. So they might spread out the taxes over 10 years on the regular IRA, but the Roth IRA, maybe they're planning on just taking it out at the very end, at year 10. So, even if it's taxable as ordinary income to you and no penalty, you might say, oh, I got to pay tax on that, but it's still great to have the money. Even if you're in a high tax bracket, I think I'd rather still have the money and pay tax on it than not have it. So it's a good thing. So, an inherited IRA, it's pretty straightforward. You just have to know that the Secure Act changed everything in terms of how you have to take it out. So, and that's what I advise a lot of clients about. So if you have a large IRA and your kids are going to inherit that, we'd start talking about things like maybe doing some Roth conversions. Don't have it all in this taxable pot of money. Maybe we convert a little bit of it to a Roth. If we have an opportunity, maybe we're in a low tax bracket or whatnot. And so those are just things that a good advisor is going to talk to their client about, and kind of what, not just what's going to happen to that money during your lifetime, but who's going to inherit that money? What's the next generation going to do with that? So inheriting an IRA can be a great thing, but you just have to know the rules about it. It's pretty straightforward. I'm not a tax advisor, by the way, and so you should definitely talk to your CPA about whatever distribution schedule that you're planning on doing. Definitely get some good tax advice on that. Just make sure you talk to somebody that knows what they're talking about. There's a lot of bad advice out there and guidance, so just make sure you're working with a competent, financial planner. So if you have any questions for me, my contact information is in the About section of my YouTube channel. And thanks for watching my video.